Hello, 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 everybody. Lori here from Unique in the Creek. Hello, hello. Say hello when you come in. Let me know where you're watching from. We are streaming right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So let me know where you're watching. I would love, love, love to hear where you're from. So today, I'm going to do a little something different. I am going away, so I wanted to get one kind of Valentine's live in before I went away. I know a lot of people are still working on Christmas. However, you may be using, or you may be trying to make Christmas gifts, like wreath Christmas gifts. And I want to show you a really, really easy flower, because flower wreaths are by far like amazing, because you can't get them in the store. You can make so many different colors, so many different styles. And my friends, right now, we are saturated, not Unique in the Creek personally, all the craft stores online and everything all have some really fabulous striped mesh out there, okay? The striped mesh is perfect for this project. Now, you can use any mesh, any color, whatever you want, but I'm letting you know there is a lot of striped mesh out there, ombre striped and everything. Beautiful stuff out there. This, like I said, is I'm kind of going on a Valentine's kind of theme. This is mesh. It is striped with light pink, red, dark pink. Light pink, red, dark pink. And I have linked or put the SKU. Happy birthday, Judy. I have put the SKU down below in this description. I'm going to be using about 1.5 rolls of this. So I did bring 2 rolls home. This particular striped mesh is RE138566. Hi, Liz. It's a new deco mesh. It's absolutely fabulous. It almost gives the look of a fabric mesh, but still being, it looks like it's horizontal wide stripe strips in here. Anyways, it's absolutely fabulous. This is what we're going to be using, okay? So we're using 1.5 rolls of this mesh and a large board and some zip ties. Yes, the birthday girl is here. So for this flower, we're going to be using rows 2, 3, 4, and 5. So row 2, we're going to use the normal holes. So you're going to preload. You want to preload your normal holes closed, which means you'll see a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to go down where the number 2 is, down 1 hole, back up the other, do your zip tie up. So the tail will go into the flat side of your zip tie head, and you'll hear a clicking, and it's locked, okay? You're going to do that for all the sets of holes on row 2. So there's 16, okay? On row 3, you're going to do the normal sets of holes on row 3. So you'll see the number 3. You're going to preload that, closed. Now there is a single hole in between the sets of holes. Those are for different flowers. We're just going to use the normal holes on row 3. So you're going to have 8. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so that's row 3. Oh, it's your birthday too? Happy birthday, Paula. Row 4, we're using normal holes. Another 8. And row 5, we're going to use 4. We may use 8. It depends on how full it gets when I get to the front, or to get to the center, okay? Hello, hello, everybody. All right, so you're gonna preload your board, rows 2, 3, 4, and 4 of them on row 5. Okay, so you're gonna use 30, well, 16, 32, 33, 34, 5, 36 pieces of mesh cut at 10 inches. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna roll out your mesh. Now, if you have a long cutting mat like I do, mine is 36 inches long, my cutting mat. You can cut, roll it out. You're going to square it up, so you want to make sure the bottom edge of your mesh is on one of the lines here. Square it up, and then I'm going to cut it at the 30, the 20, and the 10. Okay, so you can cut 3 pieces all at once. So I cut, this is one full roll. So I think there is 34 pieces. But we're gonna be using the mesh for the center of our flower as well, okay? So I'm not cutting anymore, but I'm just gonna put this aside. And I have this bucket because I didn't pre-make any of my petals, because the petal is very easy, my friends. What you're gonna do, I have the bucket for like a garbage to help me with keeping my area clean. What you're gonna do, this is going to be, I'm gonna call it like a lazy man rose, okay? A lazy man rose. So, this is a 10 by 10 piece of mesh. Does not need to be wood burned. However, if you are going to do this with a poly burlap, you're going to want to wood burn it, okay? Because eventually the strings will all come out. You'll see all kinds of strings with the poly burlap. I wouldn't recommend poly burlap for this flower because there's so many other choices that are much better and less expensive. This roll of mesh is fairly inexpensive. I think it's like $6 maybe, not even. And we're only using 1.5 rolls. Alrighty. So because it's a striped mesh, I want all my stripes kind of going the same way. So you're going to use your piece of mesh curl up, which means when you rock it back and forth, it's curl up. Now at the top of my mesh is dark pink. And the bottom of the mesh is light pink. I would keep your mesh, if you're doing stripes, keep an eye on your mesh, because when I'm doing my petal, I'm always going to have the dark pink up at the top. Okay? So what you're going to do, I'm going to turn this into a diamond shape. There's my dark pink. The light pink is over on the right-hand side. Dark pink on the left-hand side. You're going to take the top corner and you're just going to bring it down to the bottom corner. All right. I swing my triangle to the left because I'm right-handed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the tip of it, I'll just put it at the 20 here so I'm centered on my camera, 20. And I'm going to pinch it at the 16. So I want 4 inches. So it's on the 20, pinch it at the 16. I can see it through my mesh. I'm just gonna pinch it. Then I'm gonna bring the sides in. So just like the rose petal, okay? I did get my nails and my toes done and got Christmassy, Christmas in the sand. All right, so let's do that again. Top to the bottom, swing it, line it up. We're going to pinch it at 4, so we have a 4-inch tail, so I'm just pinching at the 16. I'm going to bring the top edge in, the bottom edge in, and don't let go of where you just pinched. We're just going to trim off some of this tail, and I'm going to slide it right in to my preloaded zip tie until the zip tie hits my fingers, and then I'm going to do it up. That is going to be the whole petal for our flower, okay? So first I'm going to do is every other. So I'm going to skip. You're going to preload all of row 2, but when we put our petals in, we're going to put 8 in, and then we'll come back and put the other 8 in. Okay, so I'm going to do that again. Here's my mesh, curl up, dark pinks at the top, light pink at the bottom, turn it into a diamond shape, take that top corner, bring it down to the bottom corner, swing it, put your tip, I got it on the 20, so I'm pinching right at the 16 here, bring this in. Okay, that's our 4-inch where my fingers is. Trim some of that off. Slide it right into your preloaded zip tie till it hits your finger and do that up. So you're going to do on row 2, you're going to do every other, and then you're going to come back and you're going to go over top, and I'll show you because I've started one already and you can see how beautiful. All right. So because it's so easy, I went ahead and pre-did most of it because the center is what I wanted to show you guys for this live. All right, so I'm going to put this one in. So what I'm doing basically is you're going to put 8 in, and then you're going to come back and put another 8 in so it overlaps. Okay, so I need one more right here. And that'll be row 2 done. So that's 16 of these in row 2. Okay, and you want to make sure that you do that you can do 4 to 5 inch tail. You need that long tail so that these ends are going to curve in just like that, okay? Because you don't want these little ends, the ends of your jellyfish petal, rose petal, coming out of your flower, okay? So now I'm on row 3. So there's 8 on row 3. Exact same thing. Now you can pre-make your petals. I didn't feel that, I thought it would be more time just preloading them than just actually folding it, cutting it, and sticking it in. Okay? So you're going to do 8. Again, make sure you pay attention to your colors. If you're using a striped. Now you see why I had a little bucket. Grab yourself a bowl or whatever. Just something that you can clip the ends of your excess tail. All right. So that is row 3. So that was 8 of them. That's why I named this the easiest flower, because that's all you have to do. And then I'll show you the center, which is going to be super cool. And then that's it for the lives for me. Unless I bring crafting supplies to Cabo with me, which I doubt it. And like I said, this flower turns out, look how pretty it is with these striped colors. Oh, I missed a zip tie. Okay, I'll have to go back and put a zip tie. So again, you want to make sure you have that 4 to 5 inch tail so these are curving down. just going around. This is row 4. And this would be great if you're making wreaths for gifts. If you have some really pretty mesh and you want to showcase the mesh, this is a great way to do it. Now again, you can pre-make the petals, but you can see how fast I'm going along here. This is a petal that is really easy and really doesn't need to be pre-made. And I call it the Lazy Man Rose because you can see how it's kind of turning into a little bit of a rose kind of formation. It's just not as poofy. And this is a zip tie right here. Okay, so we're almost done row 4. All right, go around and we'll clip off the zip tie tails. Okay. Flip this over. We have that nice neat back. I'm just gonna kind of flick, make sure I got them all. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so now we're on row 5. We're going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to do 4. I might need to do 8 in the center. We'll see. I'll figure it out once I show you guys how I'm going to make the center of this flower. So again, still 4 to 5 inch tail. Yeah, this is a very easy flower, but it does look complicated, so you will get lots of compliments on it, but it is so super easy. And then wait till I show you what I'm going to do for the middle. We have one mesh in stock. It is so pretty. It's a stripe. Could have swore I brought it home, but I think I might have left it in my car. It's a stripe that's got, it's like a moss green, cream, and pink striped mesh. Absolutely stunning. But I decided Valentine's is coming, so this is the easy Valentine's. Or, like I said, you want to make a flower wreath for a gift. This is the easy one. All right. Actually, I think I am going to do 8 just to keep it full in the center. Even though I'm going to be making a different center than the rose. So I'm going to go down and up our shared holes here. So another 4. The mesh is 10 inches by 10 inches. I cut one full roll, which I believe I got 36 pieces. But we're gonna do the center a little bit different, and we are gonna use the same mesh. We're not gonna cut it. Well, we are gonna cut it, but it's just gonna be a little different. Okay. So I'm gonna do another 4. Same long tail. Okay, 2 more, and then we'll do the center. Yeah, like a striped mesh for this. A solid mesh would look nice too, but a striped mesh for this really makes it intricate and elegant. Okay, 1 more. And then I'll show you the back so you can see that you don't have a huge mess. Okay, that is done. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. All right, so there is the back. So we did a full circle on row 5, the 8 on row 4, 8 on row 3, and 16 on row 2. We have a nice neat back. I'm gonna put a zip tie on there for the hanger. And then we're gonna do our center. So you can see how fast you can literally throw this together, right? And then we'll just go around. If there's any little tails that pop up, which there shouldn't be because we've made our little jellyfish petal or rose petal, so it sticks down. Okay, so you're gonna take mesh. I'm using the same mesh that I used for the flower. Okay, and I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut 3 pieces of it at 36 inches. Okay, so again, I'm gonna run my mesh right across, and actually I probably don't even need 36. Let's do 28 inches, 3 pieces at 28. Now, if you don't do row 5, you can make your center a little bit bigger. And before I show you how I'm going to do this center, I just wanted to show you, like, you can be done and you could put a 6-inch sign underneath. Okay, you could put a 6-inch sign in the center of your flower. You could put a bling rope center in your flower. I found this foam rose thing I got from Hobby Lobby. That can go in the center of your flower. Okay, so you can use other things, but I want to use the same color. Might add a little touch of glue to keep those down. I want to use the same color as the flower. So I'm going to take my 3 pieces of mesh. Let's put something heavy on it and roll it out. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to take a zip tie. And I'm just going to scrunch right up the end just like this, right across my 3 pieces. Okay, just kind of make sure that all the ends are the same length. And I'm going to put a zip tie around the end here. Pull it nice and tight. I'm going to trim some of this excess mesh. Okay. You could even use a 4-inch zip tie at the top there. All right. Now I'm going to take some tape. I'm going to tape this end. Hopefully it sticks to my table. And I'm going to braid these 3 pieces of mesh. I'm going to braid it. Okay. So we've got left, the right, center, all right, I'm just clipping it so it's just easier to braid. Okay, and we're just going to braid. And you want to make a nice tight braid, so you have to be patient because the mesh will stick to each other. Now you don't have to figure out what color of a center to use because we're using the exact same mesh that we made the flower with. Might have only needed 24, I'm not sure. 24 inches. But we can cut it back. Again, it's much easier to have it a little longer than shorter, because then if it's shorter, you can't add more mesh. Oh my God, stupid tape. Okay, almost done. Okay, that's good. I'm going to put another zip tie at the end here. Cut this off. Okay, make sure my glue gun is on. Still have to get a new glue gun. Hopefully Santa will bring me a new one. Okay, I got a cable mount and a pipe cleaner ready to go. All right, and we're going to twist this. So you're going to bring this in, just kind of like that, and we're going to wrap this. Now, if you do it like this, you're not going to see a lot of the colors. So I'm going to try and do it as flat as I can. Okay, so I'm just going to put some glue and just fold that in a bit. And then we're just going to keep it flat, but let it, and we're going to twist it. And I'm going to put glue my glue gun will work as I'm twisting. Oh, I so need a new glue gun. We have them in the warehouse too. I don't know where the cord went for my cordless one. I think Gigi took off with it and I can't find it. So you just be patient and put a little bit of glue. Look how cool it's looking though. Ah, glue burn. So try and do it as tight as you can. All right. And once I know if I let go, it's not going to go fling open, and glue the other side here. Okay, now we wait. Yes, we did this on the large board. This is the back side, just making sure all our glue. Now I did it really quick. You may want to make sure your braid is nice and tidy. I didn't, because as you're braiding, you can make sure your mesh is like folded over nice and everything. And the bigger, if you make it a lot bigger, like I said, I only cut mine at 28 inches. If you cut it longer and make your braid longer, you know, you may not have to use row 5. think we might be good here. I just don't want this to pop off. Let's put a clothespin just to hold it for a sec. Okay, and now I'm going to take a cable mount with my pipe cleaner. Yeah, you could glue a piece of felt to the bottom. I'm lazy. I'm just going to put a dollop of glue right in the center. Again, this is the Lazy Man flower. Just kind of put that in the center. We'll just hold that. And then pop that right in the middle. Your anal retention. Yeah. I just wanted to quickly show you guys, just because, like I said, I'm not going to be around for a week or so. And I really wanted to show you guys this, just in case you're making Christmas presents, right? This is a really easy, quick, if you have lots of mesh, look how cool that is. Okay, let's see. Oh, I think we're good. No, we're not. Hold on. Let's close these together. All right, and then we're going to glue that right in the center here. And we just made a Lazy Man rose. But I am going to, hold on a sec. If I can get this glued. I'm going to glue some of these corners down. Sorry guys, I just want to let this go. Okay. So I'm going to take a little bit of hot glue, and I want to make sure my little corners here are just glued down. So I'm just going to put a dab of glue right there. You don't have to glue, well, you can glue all of them if you want, but I'm just gluing the inner ones here. The rest of them, you cannot see. They all stay like, and if you do, just tuck them in and they'll stay. Alrighty, now I gotta dig down this mess, and I'm gonna put my center in. So you can either dig through and go through these holes here, which I have too much of a mess, or just take one of the holes on row 5 and just go opposite. And that's what I'm going to do, so I'm not digging. So I'm taking one side of my pipe cleaner, going down this hole, and the other side, just the opposite hole. There. And pull it straight down. There we go. Pull till you feel some resistance. Don't be scared to pull because that glue loves mesh, so it's not going to come out. And give it a twist. Push that back down. Make it nice and neat. There we go. Okay, so that's the back. And that's our front. And we can lazy rose. But it's beautiful. Okay, once you know that that's where you want your center, you can then take a little bit of hot glue, lift your center up, pump some glue underneath. So it's pipe cleanered on and it's also glued on. And there we go. What do we think of that? Get that pretty mesh out that you guys have. Make some presents. Now, of course, you can do this on the small board. You would use, obviously, a little bit less mesh. But this is, I'll measure it for you. Look how pretty. Make sure all the petals are kind of looking the same. Love it. Look at that. And it is 21 inches in diameter. Obviously, you can do your center a lot neater than I did, but you guys get the gist. And there's the back, nice clean back. Business on the back, you put your sticker on the back or your business card, right? So people know who made it and where they buy another one. Everything's nice and neat. And then there's the party on the front with our, I got 2 cut pieces left and over a half. So about a roll and a quarter, depending how big you're going to do your braided center, right? So if you don't want to use row 5, you can make your center even bigger. But I think this is like the perfect size. The perfect size. So play around with your braiding. But you don't have to use striped mesh. You can use whatever you want. Again, I highly recommend if you're going to use poly burlap to wood burn it, but I wouldn't use poly burlap because do you see how it's kind of puffy like this, which gives it that nice form? Poly burlap is going to be flat, okay? Poly burlap is great for certain flowers, but I wouldn't recommend it for this. The cheaper the mesh, the nicer it'll be. Like even the, not that the pre-cut mesh is cheap, but let's try it with it. Grab a couple pieces. Now you obviously wouldn't be able to do the center with pre-cut mesh, but this is like a cream with gold, so I could do a gold center. But 24-inch tail. Get that puffiness. You want the puffiness. Okay? And you don't want to use a really thin value mesh because the value mesh, you may not get the coverage you want and you may see the board. But you can see how it layers and it's perfect. So row 2, every other, go around and do that, and then go back and do the other one so they're kind of sitting on top. Row 3, 8, row 4, 8, and row 5, 8, and then braid, make a braided center. And you've got a cheater rose. I love that name. All right, my friends, thank you for joining me. I will hope everybody stays safe and well. I will be back on the 16th, I believe, 15th, 16th, and I will pop on and see how everybody's doing. All right, there you go. Make a wreath Christmas present. Thanks, everybody.